Hello everybody, Top Ball here with Left-Handed Knife Reviews. Today, we're going to be reviewing the Cold Steel Code 4, model number 85PT. Let's get right into it. First up, we have our facts and figures. This is going to be a 3.5 inch blade in S35 VN steel running on a set of washers. This handle is made out of aluminum, measures in right at 5 inches. At the time of this review, this knife sells for $84.95 on Blade HQ. I'm going to put a couple items on the table for size comparison, as the actual dimensions of the knife will appear on the screen. First up, we have our Dixon Ticonderoga pencil unsharpened. We will follow that up with our Spyderco Paramilitary 2. After that, let's do our Cold Steel Taflite. And on the opposite side of the Cold Steel spectrum, Cold Steel 8010. Alright, next up let's talk about Larry and my experience while using the knife. The Code 4 is a nice knife to use. The texture on the aluminum handle is fairly slick. The size of the handle gave us ample room for our hands, and we were able to hold the knife comfortably multiple ways. The overall thickness of this knife is a little thin, so a chef's knife hold really excels well with this knife. It also had a good consistent lockup and deploys okay. The triad lock is a good lock, and the knife locks very securely. This knife overall was pleasant to carry for review. Next up, let's talk about what this knife succeeded at. This knife carries well for its size. Its smoother texture and thin profile helps it slide in and out of the pocket like a breeze. The knife is large, so it has plenty of room for a larger hand. The ergonomics on this knife are also incredibly solid. It has a very good curve along the spine here, and two well-sized and well-spaced finger slots that make it work really well in our hands. The ratio of blade to handle is also stellar. On larger knives, the balance can be difficult to achieve, but the Code 4 definitely hits it in that sweet spot. Next up, let's talk about what the Code 4 struggled with. The aluminum scales are fairly smooth. The anodizing has little to no texturing, so it can get slick with just a little bit of moisture. And when you go to grip harder on the knife to kind of regain some of that control, the thinness of the knife really comes out, digging into your fingers, especially along the bottom here, where you just have scale, no real liner to speak of, and these are fairly well pointed. Next up, we have our points of note. Points of note are neutral things we want to mention but fall in the gray area between successes and struggles. Pocket clip is going to be a standard pocket clip, not a deep carry. There is a lanyard hole present. This knife is also not as heavy as we expected. For an all-metal knife, this knife comes in at 4.15 ounces for 3.5 inches of blade, which isn't that bad. Next up, we have everything that's left. This is the part of the knife review we talk about everything left-handed. You do have two pocket clips that come with the knife, one for lefties, one for righties. You only have the option of tip-up carry. This is also a thumb stud deploy knife, and you have almost identical cutouts for a left-handed individual as a right-handed individual. The thumb stud itself can be unscrewed and switched in order to have a taller thumb stud on the side of the knife that you're deploying the knife, which is a really great feature. When it comes to the locking mechanism of this knife, this is a triad lock which functions identically to a back lock. So you're going to have the exact same experience for a left-handed individual as you are going to have for a right-handed individual. Overall, this knife is fully ambidextrous. All right, let's talk about our final thoughts and recap. The Code 4 is a workhorse of a knife. All metal construction combined with that triad lock make this a knife built for work. This knife has identical experiences for both left and right-handed individuals. This knife also comes with 2 different blade shapes. On top of the Tanto shown here, it has a spear point and a clip point, I believe, and those are similarly priced to the Tanto. This knife is built with hard work in mind. You have a non-deep carry pocket clip, so you have more room to grab the knife out of your pocket with, say, like a gloved hand. The thumb stud is big, bulky, and set far away from the actual frame of the knife, which gives you plenty of room to get that knife deployed. The travel on the deploy is a little bit long, but with a gloved hand, it's good to have that extra room. Overall, if you're looking for a knife that you need to take a beating, this is a really good pickup for that, $85 price point, and around $80 for the other 2 models. Yeah, for a hard work knife, your money will not be poorly spent on the Code 4. Thank you very much for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe for more great knife content. We'll see you next time.